What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Welcome into another episode of My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your host, Sleazebomb. Today, we are going to be going over my running back top 36 rankings heading into week 1 here for your redraft leagues. As always, guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you tap that thumbs up, hit that subscription button. All the support's appreciated. I'll be bringing you fantasy football content all year long to help you dominate your leagues. If you have any questions, anything that does not have to pertain to this video, drop it in the comments. I try to get to every single one of them, guys. And if you guys need help all year long outside of YouTube or Apple or Spotify, if you guys are listening on any of those, we do have the Guys FF Patreon with my partner, my brother, Big Draft Energy. We will also be live on his show tonight for the kickoff of the first show of Stand On Business at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be awesome. But in the Discord, it covers pretty much everything you need fantasy football. It will be linked in the comments. It will be in the description of the video as well. And we got to shout out the sponsors, Drafters Fantasy Sports. If you guys have not signed up on drafters.com, that's where we do all our pick'ems, our daily DFS, everything like that. We drop all of that into the Discord as well, so you guys can see the amount of absurd money we made last year on pickups and stuff like that. So if you sign up, make sure you use promo code SLEAZE. It will match your deposit up to $100. And you can do pickups with us, talk fantasy football the whole time. Now, my next videos after this will be wide receiver and tight end rankings and defense and kicker. I'm going to try to get them all out. My goal to have everything to you guys before the Thursday kickoff. So I'm grinding. And let's dive into my top 36 tier rankings for running backs for week 1. So if you guys are new to the channel, this is my running back board here for week 1. Ballers here at the top, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5. We're going to go through all 36 here. And you've got pictures down below. You got Joe Mixon and Tyjae Spears. You can see right here below me. They are both on IR, so they are not in the rankings. And Caleb Johnson, man, we got to talk about this as well. I'll get to that when we talk about Jaylen Warren here. But I'm going to leave him there for a reason. He's not in my top 36 heading into week 1 here. Now, so when we're looking at these rankings as well, guys, this is going to be using last year's information, my knowledge on how the game scripts are going to go. Obviously, we're heading into week 1. We don't have any defensive statistics that I like to drop a ton in my videos because there's nothing in 2025 yet. So we're looking at last year as well here and what they've done in the offseason and acquisitions they have and how I think it's going to play out for the running backs this year heading in. Now, starting off with number 1, Saquon Forever Barkley. Thursday night football is almost here. Couldn't come fast enough. I mean, they faced the Dallas Cowboys, and they get literally like a gift from God the week before. They get Micah Parsons, the defensive nightmare, traded away. Philadelphia's offensive line is top 2 in the NFL, absolutely massive. The Cowboys took a massive hit there. I honestly think they're going to run Dallas out the building, and you're going to have a week 1 like last year in Brazil where Saquon Barkley went absolutely nuclear against the Green Bay Packers. And that's what you're going to get here again. Saquon Barkley is going to be my number 1 running back heading into week 1 here. Week number 2 is going to be Christian McCaffrey, comeback player of the year. Could be my 49er bias because I love the guy. You get Seattle on the road at Seattle. Seattle's strength in their defense is their secondary. Their defensive line is not one of the top fronts. Trent Williams is still back out there. We got Dominic Puny back at right guard as well, which is a massive, we thought he was going to be out for a couple games. Massive piece to acquire there. And they brought in Brian Robinson. So people could be like, oh my God, Brian Robinson is going to be change of pace. He's not going to be change of pace. He's going to be when McCaffrey's tired. Christian McCaffrey is going to be on an absolute tear in this game. I'm expecting 20, possibly 30 points from CMC in his first game back. And I think he's going to go absolutely nuclear. And everyone that passed on him in the draft is going to feel sad after game 1. Number 3, Devon the Hurricane A-Chain gets to play the Indianapolis Colts. Now, I know he's coming off the calf injury, and people panicked, and he fell in the draft because of it. If you listen to Dr. Jesse Morris or follow his Twitter, great guy, got to meet him in person at the Expo. He literally tells you that there's a 5 to 10% re-injury with his Achilles. It's not like CMC's last year. Different strain, different grade, everything like that. I'm not, a doctor to dive into the details. But he's back healthy, ready to go. Ollie Gordon will probably be, in there a couple bit to split here and out. But the amount of work that Devon A-Chain is going to get in this Colts game is absolutely ridiculous. And he's possibly chance at RB1. All 3 of these running backs, these were my only 3 guys I was considering at number 1 in week 1. Number 4 is going to be Bijan Robinson. And yeah, they took the right tackle, McGarry, out for the season. That's a big hit to the line of the Falcons. It was a monster line. And obviously, it's not going to affect Bijan that much for me. He's still such an electric threat across the board. But in this matchup, you're going to get Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay's strength last year was versus the run. And they didn't get any worse. So that's the only reason Bijan's lower for me in this game. Divisional matchup versus the Bucs and a very tough D-line here. Number 5, Jahmyr Gibbs. And man, all of a sudden, you're going up against possibly Micah Parsons, who might take a shot in his back, because of the pain to get him out there and play. I expect him to be out there. You're going to get at Lambeau, Rashawn Gary as well. They're going to be bearing down on the Detroit Lions offensive line. Guys, what people don't understand is you lost Ragnow, you lost Zeitler. Both these guys from a top offensive line are gone last year to the middle of the pack now. Yes, Jahmyr Gibbs will be lined up. They talk about receiving work. They talk about using him all over. He's probably the most electric running back in fantasy football. I get that. I just don't like the matchup, and we got to see how this new offensive line looks for them. Number 6, the matchup is absolutely beautiful. The Indianapolis Colts get the Miami Dolphins at home, Lucas Oil Stadium here. And the Miami Dolphins defense, guys, is beat up across the board. And you're going to have to lean on what you have here when Danny Dimes or Danny, whatever you want to call him, is your quarterback. Jonathan Taylor should be 30-plus touches in this game, should find the end zone for an anytime touchdown, in my opinion. And that's why I have him at number 6. I've been afraid of drafting him all year long because durability and how many games the Colts will be behind, and he's not much of a pass-catching back. But that is not the case in this game. This could be a game where Jonathan Taylor is king here and is absolutely in my baller tier. That's the end of the baller tier. Heading down to tier 1 here, it is going to be Derrick Henry. And it's a very tough matchup both ways here. So when you're looking at the Bills-Ravens games here, I mean, yeah, the over-under is 50.5. I'm not doubting Father Time anymore. I had a couple doubts on him last year, and he just proves me wrong every single time. The Bills do get Joey Bosa. Their defense is back healthy. They're going to be improved. Same with the Ravens. Obviously, King Henry's a start for you if you draft him in the late first or early second. But I just have him a little lower this week just because the matchup, both these defenses are going to be ferocious, and the fronts are going to get after people. Number 8 is going to be Bucky, my guy, Irving. I believe he truly does have top 3 running back upside. Last year, look what he did on 50% snap share down the stretch. It was unbelievable. He was RB8 overall, and he could literally turn that into top 3 with just give him 60% and see what happens. You get the Falcons defense, their strength, it could say, is against the run. They traded up for 2 first-round picks this year with a massive haul. But Bucky Irving is going to be the focal point of this offense. He's absolutely going to feast, and he is my RB8 on the week. Number 9 is going to be Chase Brown. Yes, you get a little Myles Garrett on that side, but the Browns defense, what really are they going to be playing for this year? The Bengals, they put all their money into the offense. I expect Joe Burrow to lead drive on drive on drive. It could be Chase, it could be Higgins, or it could be Brown. And Brown's ADP is skyrocketed so high to not like my liking, but I still like him for a monster year. And I cannot put him outside the 10 against the Cleveland Browns where they could just run this team over. The over-under still 48 or 47.5 with Joe Flacco at quarterback since he's favored by 4.5. I love Chase Brown in this game right here. Number 10, and this one was tough for me, Ashton Genty. So again, when you're the West Coast team, I've said this a couple of times, you're going out east for an early morning game. For some reason, they just come out sluggish. Doesn't matter if you're a rookie or a vet. It's just how it goes. It's hard to, I don't know the deciphering terms for why that happens, but it does. And you're facing a revamped Patriots, Mike Vrabel, defensive-minded head coach-led team. So, yeah, Pete Carroll, obviously on the other side for the Raiders. Obviously, he likes to run the ball. Chip Kelly there as well. Their offensive line isn't the best in Oakland, but they're in Las Vegas. Sorry, I said Oakland. I'm still going to put Genty in the top 10, but I'm kind of tempering my expectations for him. He looked great in the preseason, but it is the preseason. Now you're going to face the big boys. I feel like it's going to be a tougher matchup for him, but I love Genty so much. I'm going to put him in the top 10 still. Number 11 is Kyren Williams. It's always Kyren. I wish the newcomers in my channel would go back to all my videos from 2 years ago with this Blake Coleman, Jarquez Hunter stuff and all the comments I would get and everyone complaining. The answer is always Kyren Williams. That's why he got the extension. That's why he's been a top 7 running back to back. But you are going up against the Texans defensive line, which is probably the second best in the NFL, or top 3 if you want to argue that as well, you could. I mean, you're not going to see much Blake. You're not going to see much or Jarquez Hunter here. Now you have Devontae Adams and Puka outside. You got two lethal threats that'll open up the box. I've been saying I want to see Terrence Ferguson over Tyler Higbee. We'll see how that goes across the middle. But Kyren Williams is always your red zone guy, always your end zone guy. He leads red zone touches like top 5 every single year. You have to love Kyren Williams, your top 11 running back this week. Number 12 is where I'm going to jump the gun here a little bit. Chuba Hubbard is going to round out my tier 1. The matchup against Jacksonville is absolutely gold. Their defense versus the run is terrible. I've been targeting this game in fantasy across the board. Same with the Jaguars on their side, because we all know last year the Panthers were absolutely atrocious at running back. So I'm going to put Chuba at number 12. I think he's going to find the end zone for an anytime touchdown easy, in my opinion. A bet I'm going to make this week as well. Leading off with tier 2 here is going to be Josh Jacobs. And this one was tough for me not to put Jacobs higher. But you have to look that Detroit's defense has gotten better. And they've added Hutchinson as well back off the IR. It felt like when he went down last year, it was like their season was over. And what you have to look at is Jordan Love last year went down in Brazil in week 1. He was hampered. They leaned on Josh Jacobs' shoulders all year long. You can see what LaFleur and the Packers want to do in the draft by getting 2 wide receivers in Matthew Golden and Savion Williams. They want to try and get to the Super Bowl with saving their horse. I'm not going to say they're not going to use him for 20-plus touches, but I just don't see he's going to get that massive amount of work that he got last year, and it's a very tough matchup. I know you're at home. He could find pay dirt for sure. I just have him a little lower to start here to see how it looks for the new Packers offense. Number 13, Alvin AK-41 Kamara. The matchup is absolutely beautiful, but the running game is never going to be where Alvin Kamara really succeeds this year unless he kind of breaks one on an open hole that's just there, right? The Saints offense is not going to be great. Kellen Moore, offensive mind, but they don't really have that leader at quarterback that we all want to see happen there for the Saints. I think they're playing for next year. So what you have to look at with Kamara is he has a chance. I've said a bunch of times that I do think he's going to be traded as well. I think if a contender needs him before the deadline and I'm the Saints, I'm moving him. But I don't, I'm not the Saints GM, none of that. So just an idea from me. But what you have to look at is if he's out there the whole season, he could possibly break the running back reception record with dump-offs galore. They're going to be garbage time playing from behind, pass heavy, and you get the Cardinals. You have to love this matchup for Alvin Kamara. Speaking about the Cardinals, we're going to go right back to the same thing with James Conner here. They've alluded to possibly using Trey Benson more. It's like the same thing with the Kyren Williams talk. They're saying, we're going to see more Blake Corum. We heard that the year before. We heard that with Jarquez Hunter. It's going to be James Conner until it's not. This man is possibly another one of my high-end touchdown guys to score this week. You're going to get a team where you're going to be able to just run the ball. If they get a lead early, they'll just probably pound Connor the whole way. This guy could be an absolute smash this week. We just have to see how the Saints offense really looks. Is it as bad as I really think? Or is Kellen Moore going to come out and change it to look better? But James Conner's going to be running back 15. Running back 16. This one pains me, man. James Cook. And he got his massive contract after the holdout. The matchup is brutal. The Ravens were the number 1 run D last year, allowing 45 yards a game or 44, whatever it was. They get Mike Green and a steal out of Marshall in round 2, which was a top 10 prospect as well, to put more pressure off the edge. The over-under is the highest. If you guys know me, I love James Cook. I just don't like this matchup versus the Ravens in week 1. Obviously, if it's your RB2 or flex, you're still starting, and I'm okay with that. I just don't think it's a big splash week for James Cook unless he breaks a big one somehow. Number 17, Travion Henderson. Same thing here for me, man. I love this guy. Game 1. He's been breaking out preseason. He's my league winner, everything. I love Travion Henderson, but it is game 1. We are to the real talk now. And you're playing the Vegas Raiders at home. We don't know how it's going to look with Ramondre Stevenson yet. We don't know how the workload is going to look, period. Obviously, Travion's looked a preseason darling, amazing. But I am going to temper my expectations early with him and put him at number 17. Number 18, this might surprise some people here, is going to be R.J. Harvey. The Denver Broncos are getting the Tennessee Titans this week, and just get ready for the Harvey party, man, because you're going to have Twitter posts and everything going crazy about R.J. Harvey after this game. Why? Because you're sending Cam Ward into the Lions' den in Mile High Stadium versus the number 1 defense in the Denver Broncos. They have the number 1 offensive line as well. And you're looking at a game where the Broncos could just run away with this. I mean, it's 42.5 over under. They're favored by 7.5. Top spread tied on the week. They think they're going to run them over. I think they're going to run them over. And what happens when you run someone over? You get more clockwork on the ground. You control the clock more. You move the ball more, and you see what you have in your rookie. And I think RJ Harvey's going to see massive, massive work in week 1. And I have him as my end of tier 2, number 18. Number 19 here is going to be Kenneth Walker, and I have him lower. And I know that people are like, oh, man, the Kubiak preseason offensive line work looked great. It did. I mean, you had Halani going nuts and win the 3rd job over Damian Martinez, right? But you have to look at it. You've also seen a lot of 1A, 1B Charbonnet talk. And why have I been targeting Charbonnet over Kenneth Walker all year long? It's typically because Kenneth Walker's never been healthy in his entire NFL career for a full season. He was injured coming in. Yes, he practiced today in full. Yes, he's going to be back there for week 1. But this guy hasn't practiced in how long? How much work are you going to get in the first week from him? You have Robert Saleh in the 49ers defense. You got Michael Williams and Joey Bosa coming at you. Fred Warner, probably one of the best linebackers of all time, leading that defense. They know Seattle. They play them 2 times a year. They know this team all the way around. So I'm a little lower on Kenneth Walker this week than most. I have him at number 19. Number 20 is Breece Hall, and I forgot to do, like, when I talk about one team, I talk about both, right? So Braylon Allen, I've been targeting. This is the same kind of situation here with Kenneth Walker and Breece Hall. I've been targeting Braylon Allen over Breece Hall at value unless Breece falls. I've been targeting Charbonnet when he falls at value over Kenneth Walker because I just like these running backs better in the situation. And this game that the Jets are getting, this is the ugliest game of the week. This is the lowest point total spread in Vegas at 38.5. Pittsburgh's favored by 2.5. If you've watched any of my videos, I've said I do not like this game at all. I'm a Justin Fields guy, and I have Justin Fields very low in this game unless he pops, the rushing upside to save it. And I don't think Breece Hall is going to do much on the ground here. This Pittsburgh defense is absolutely nasty. Justin Fields probably lead the Jets in rushing in this game. If he does anything, it's going to be, through the air, a little reception, dink and dumps here. It's going to be one of the ugliest games of the week. I'm really low on Breece Hall and Braylon Allen this week in this matchup. Number 21 is going to be Amari Hampton, and I had to drop him down a lot, so that's why this video took longer to get out here. I had to rearrange all my rankings here because Najee Harris looks like he's going to be one-eye pirate, back to life, good to roll here. And Harbaugh has alluded to the whole time that this is going to be a committee rushing offense. And you get the Chiefs. The Chiefs defense is a very good run defense, division game. They know each other. They know the schemes. And for me, I got to see how it plays out. Obviously, I think Hampton's the more explosive running back in the situation. But if they're alluding to it all year long about a committee, I gotta follow the coaches here. I got to drop him down to 21. And you're in a very tough matchup versus the Chiefs. Something I don't really like here. Number 22 is going to be Tony Pollard, and the matchup is brutal. We talked about the Titans going up against Denver. Their defense is absolutely immaculate, but volume here is probably going to keep Tony Pollard as a flex play for me, right? So, obviously, Tyjae Spears is on IR out for 4 weeks. You see him in the picture down below here. They're not going to use Khalil Mullings or Joshua Chestnut or anything like that. It's going to be full Tony Pollard usage. So, possible chance he finds the end zone, possible chance he's playing 70-plus snaps in this game, which would be more than like the top, 12, probably around Josh Jacobs, 12, 13. I'd say above Jacobs, he plays 70%. That would be enough volume for a start. The matchup is super ugly. I don't like it at all, but I have him this high. I would put him lower if Spears was out there, but Spears is not, so Pollard gets a boost because he's out. That's just facts of fantasy football right there. Number 23 is DeAndre Swift going up against the nasty Minnesota defense. Do I like DeAndre Swift with the new offensive line? Do I know how it's going to look with Roschon Johnson or Manunjai? I don't. But one thing I know is that DeAndre Swift hasn't gotten a goal line carry since freaking elementary school. So if he's going to score, it's got to be a burst play or a reception out the backfield where he takes you to the house. We don't know how it's going to look yet goal line wise. So again, I have him at 23. Yeah, their offensive line is revamped. They added a ton of weapons with Colston and Burden to go along with Dunze and Moore for Caleb Williams. And you got Ben Johnson, the offensive mind that's great behind it. I just don't trust it yet. I got to see it first before I say, oh, let's put DeAndre Swift up there because that's where his ADP was. We talked about the Lions. I have David Montgomery at number 24. Number 25 and number 26 going to go side by side here. So the Minnesota Vikings, obviously, they get their offensive line boosted up from the Colts taking 2 of their players. They're going to have a scheme of kind of a thunder and lightning, if you want to call, Aaron Jones still the speed, because he's getting older and he's had a lot of injuries in his career. I have Mason higher because I think the touchdown upside for him is higher. They brought him in for the goal line work that they could not capitalize on in 2024. That's why they got the big boy. So, yeah, could this be, a 10-plus point running back split per game yearly? Possibly, but I'm going to bet on the guy that's going to get the touchdown work all day over the guy that's not, so I'm putting Jordan Mason higher at number 25. Number 27, and this one, this one's like the hardest breakdown, man. The Jags, you got Liam Cohen, you add Travis Hunter. Everything looks great for this Jags offense. The matchup is pure gold. You're getting the Carolina Panthers, did nothing to do anything with their defense last year, and their run defense, guys, was one of the worst of all freaking time. So if ETN, and there's trade rumor talk, we got ETN and Tank Bigsby trade talk. What if they showcase ETN to a crazy role here in week 1, right? Or what if they showcase Tank Bigsby and it's not Travis Etienne? I believe Etienne is the best running back out of this group. They had drafted Byshell Tootin as well. You have to, something to think about there. And, if he's on your waiver wire, and you play in a 12-man competitive, you should definitely have Byshell Tootin picked up. That would be crazy if he's not there. But I just don't know how it's going to go. I mean, this matchup is so juicy. Like, if Etienne was the guy here, I'd probably have him up by Kamara. So I don't know how it's going to look with the 3-headed monster here. I don't want to give you guys misinformation. If you have Etienne, I'm okay flexing him for sure. The matchup is there, but it also could be a miss. This also could be a different Tank Bigsby show or Byshell. We just don't know. So I have him at 27. The matchup is gold. I can't put him higher without seeing it first. Number 28, Isaiah Pacheco, and people are going to be like, why do you have Pacheco so low? It was a preseason touchdown, guys, that got hyped up for Pacheco. The guy's coming off major injury. He runs like a freight train, the same injury that took Jalen Waddle 2 years to come back from, which is why I stayed away from Isaiah Pacheco in all my drafts, everything. You get the Chargers defense in Brazil, which we hope the field is better than last year, because if the field is not, Pacheco's season may end on Friday night, September the 5th. Like, remember September, not November. This could be really, really bad for Pacheco. I'm really, really worried about his injury all year long. And you could see Brashard Smith, Kareem Hunt. We don't know how they're going to roll it out yet. You saw Pacheco get first team usage in the preseason. That's fine. It's the preseason. That doesn't, get me hyped up for it. I'm lower on Pacheco. We'll see how it goes after week 1. And it's kind of like a Jacksonville Jaguars backfield situation. How's it going to play out? We just don't know yet. Number 29, Tyrone Tracy Jr. And, Scatabo, yeah, he's back out there off the hammy. You're playing the Commanders, but you got to look at, like, if the Commanders get up, this game is over in the run game. They're going to have to get it done in the pass game with Tyrone Tracy, which he's capable of. I mean, he was a wide receiver that, became a running back in Iowa at the same time. But they have the number 1 toughest schedule. They have one of the worst offensive lines. I didn't target any of these guys for a reason. I do not like Tyrone Tracy in week 1 against the Commanders. Number 30, Javonte Williams. By default, he wins the running back job because Miles Sanders and Jadon Blue got hurt the whole preseason. Miles Sanders, we know what he can do. We know there's not much, if anything, left in the tank. Maybe there is, but you're going up against Philly in week 1. Cowboys are not going to be a run-heavy team this year, no matter what their coaches say, no matter what they try and do. It's going to be a pass-heavy attack. That is their strength. Javonte Williams can get it done in the pass game as well. I just don't like the matchup versus Philly at all for him. Number 31, it's time to talk about it here. So Jaylen Warren gets the 2-year got this cough, man. Gets the 2-year extension. Still has Caleb Johnson. But then Kenneth Gainwell today was named the RB2 on the official depth chart. So that's why I have Caleb Johnson in the corner over here. And if you guys know I'm an Iowa guy, I'm like, God damn, man. Give this guy a shot. I never thought Jaylen Warren, as a 3-down guy, would be the lead. It's an Arthur Smith ran system still. It's going to be a nightmare even if you have Jaylen Warren. You're playing the Jets. Like I said, it's going to be the grunge game of the week. Obviously Jaylen Warren's a great pass blocker, which is why I think they gave him the extension, because Caleb Johnson struggled in the preseason, struggled a little bit Iowa with it as well. But the Iowa line was so great, it kind of debunked, not debunked, but kind of, let it hide his pass blocking skills. Bothers me that Jaylen Warren is ahead of him, but he is for now. Number 33, we talked about the Dolphins. I'm throwing Ollie Gordon up here because, again, this could be your league winner, man. This could be like, what if we have another remote or Raheem Mostert season where this guy plays the Raheem Mostert role? Because Jalen Wright, we don't know his injury time frame, and Ollie's look great. This guy was a Doak Walker Award winner, and then next year he got kind of hurt, kind of like a Luther Burden situation, and they fell in the draft. Look out, man. If you draft Devon A.J., make sure you get Ollie Gordon behind it. 34 is going to be Austin Eckler, and this is another nightmare, man. This is Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. All of a sudden, they're saying Chris Rodriguez, the goal line back, or Chris Rodriguez, maybe the first back out. It doesn't matter for me in week 1. You're playing the New York Giants. This is one of the best fronts in football. Their front seven is going to get after every run. They're going to be a great run-stopping defense. If I had to pick, the only reason, Eckler's ahead of him is because he's the pass-catching back I would like out of this group. So, I mean, don't love it, don't hate it. I mean, I don't love it. He could get it done in the pass game. It's not great. If you needed the flex play and you're in a deep league, maybe. Number 35 is going to be Nick Chubb, and this is, again, by default, Joe Mixon goes down, and you see Mixon below my little camera right there. He's out for 4 weeks. There's been no news. This is a very, very weird situation for Mixon, and we all know Nick Chubb. I mean, it would have been one of the best running backs in the NFL if injuries just did not derail him every single year. And he's almost 30, and he's going to be the starting back again, getting more work where injuries could fade him away. Dameon Pierce, someone very, very sneaky to look at in your waiver wire if available. I'm not a huge Nick Chubb guy at 35. In week 1, they have his projection way too high already. I mean, could he fall in the end zone? Yeah. Do I trust it? Absolutely not. The Texans line ranks 32nd, dead last. The Rams are back healthy. Jared Verse is going to be getting after him. I have him at 35. Number 36 could have been Jerome Ford. I thought about it, but I've watched enough. I've seen enough Jerome Ford. You do get the Cincinnati Bengals. I think Jerome Ford will come out as the guy for a drive or two, and then you'll see Dylan Sampson, the rookie out of Tennessee, who is an absolute stud touchdown machine in the SEC. He got more work in the preseason with the ones. I don't know why they didn't name him the starter with the Judkins situation. We don't know if Judkins is going to be out there. They say he could be signed. They say he could all this and all that. Again, that's speculation. We are not there yet. I should have put a picture of Judkins down below here. Let me see if I can find him. Sorry about this cough, man. It's been like 2 weeks. It's driving me nuts. Yeah, we could throw a Judkins slide down here because we don't really know what's going on with Quinshon Judkins yet. So as soon as he's out there, he hasn't been there all preseason, nothing. I'm going to assume that Dylan Sampson is the running back you want to own until then. So I'm going to put Dylan Sampson at 36. Could it be Jerome Ford? Yeah. Could it be Judkins? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Thanks for rocking with me today, guys. That is the end of the episode. Of course, on your way out, make sure you hit that thumbs up, hit that subscription button. All the support has been massively appreciated. I try to bring you guys the best content all year round to help you dominate your leagues. If you guys haven't checked out the Discord, the Guys FF, it is again pinned in the comments and in the description as well. And if you haven't signed up on Drafters, make sure you do using promo code SLEAZE, and you can do all the pick'ems, best ball, all the drafts with us on the off season that's coming up. Still got a couple of days left for best ball here if you guys draft like that. And my next videos will be my wide receiver top 36, my tight end top 30, top 10 kickers and defenses are coming as well. And then we'll dive into some smash starts. We'll dive into some sleeper plays and some return on investment ideas for you guys as well. That is it for me, guys. Thank you guys for listening. I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Sleaze Bomb out.